Welcome back to another video, guys. Today we're going to be doing a little bit more of an advanced topic. We're going to be talking about trajectory control and how to control the height on your golf shots. If you like seeing left-handed golf content, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. We're chasing 10,000 subscribers, guys. We can't believe how far we are already. We'd love to get to 10,000 by the end of the year. But leave us a like, leave us a comment. Let us know what you want to see next. If you haven't seen some of our other lessons, I'll leave a link in the description to the playlist that has all of our how to get better stuff for left-handed golfers specifically, guys. But it applies to anybody. If you're right-handed, just take what we say and flip it, and you'll get the right-handed version of what we're saying. But when I'm talking about these things today, guys, I'm going to be pretty much talking in terms of left-handed golfers. So first things first, guys, trajectory control is going to be super important if you're going to be working on improving to that next level in golf. First thing I want to get out of the way is if you're going to hit the ball low, you're going to want to take a club that's going to go low, guys. You cannot hit a pitching wedge low. You can't hit a sand wedge low. Those are clubs that are not designed to go low. If you're working on hitting the ball lower, you're going to want to take a little bit higher lofted or lower lofted club, like a 5-iron, maybe 6-iron, and you're going to want to swing it a little bit softer to cut that yardage off. Likewise, 5-irons, 4-irons just aren't really meant to go high. If you're trying to hit it high over a tree or high over some trouble, whatever it may be, you're going to want to take less loft and hit it a little bit higher. So a couple things that are going to create that are going to control the trajectory is going to be swing speed, spin rates, and of course loft. So when you're talking about hitting that ball high, what you're doing is you're swinging a lot harder, generating a lot more spin and creating more lift on the ball. So the harder you swing at the ball, the higher it's going to go. So even if I'm taking this 5-iron here, for example, and I'm trying to hit the ball low, if I'm swinging hard, it's going to go higher. If I'm swinging it softer, a little bit softer, the ball is going to come out with a little bit lower trajectory, a lot less spin, and that's how I'm kind of varying the height. Now also, the follow through is extremely important when we're talking about controlling the height. You know, when you're trying to hit a lower golf shot, you're usually finishing with a lower follow through. I'm abbreviating my follow through. And if I'm hitting the ball higher, I'm doing the opposite. I'm actually following through a little bit higher. So just to get those quick little things out of the way before I jump onto the mat and hit a few shots, and then we'll talk about kind of like what I'm going through when I'm addressing the ball, setting up, ball position, things like that. So as you can see, guys, I'm going to line up and hit a few shots into this net. We're going to first work on hitting the ball higher, a higher trajectory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a high lofted club, like a pitching wedge. I would consider high loft anything like wedge onto 9 or 8-iron, although you can start to hit an 8-iron a little bit lower, which would be called like a knockdown shot. But we're going to talk about hitting the ball high first. That's something I'm pretty good at. So we're going to start by hitting the ball high. When you're hitting the ball higher, you're going to want to put the ball more up in your stance. So what that's going to look like, as you see where the ball is in relation to my feet, is further up in my stance. What that would look like if I were doing the opposite, it would be further back in my stance, which is not exactly promoting a high ball flight. I'm hitting this shot as normal, guys. I'm moving the ball up in my stance a little bit. I'm swinging like normal. However, my follow through is going to be a lot higher in the air rather than if I were trying to hit it lower. My follow through would be more abbreviated. Now, I used to ask the question a lot, like, how could the follow through affect the golf shot so much? And what I actually just kind of realized the other day is that when you're following through, what you're doing is you're actually manipulating the club face with your hands. So if I'm following through lower, my hands are rotating a little bit sooner, and that's hooding the club face, you know, promoting a little bit lower of a ball flight. If I'm finishing higher, my right hand's actually holding off the club face a little bit longer, and that ball's launching up a little bit higher in the air. So it kind of makes sense when you put it that way. But yeah, we'll show you what it looks like from the side to finish high and finish low. So again, like I said, if I'm going to set up to hit the ball high, I want to hit it over a tree or over some trouble, whatever it may be, I'm going to address the ball as normal. But I'm going to move that ball up in my stance. And it's pretty marginal, guys. We're talking about moving it up maybe a ball in your stance, maybe each ball, moving it one golf ball further up in my stance, so closer to my right foot. Moving this one up in my stance, swinging at it like normal. I might be if I'm really trying to get some loft on it, I might be leaning my shoulders angled up a little bit more, guys. That's kind of helping me hit more up on it. But what you want to watch out when you do that is you want to make sure that you're still hitting down on the ball. Because if you're lifting up, you can actually pretty easily hit the ball behind it. It's changing where my club is striking the ground. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to get a little bit more shoulder lean. Ball's up in my stance a little bit. And my fall through is going to be much higher. I'm going to hit one here. You can see that came off nice and high because I did the exact same stuff we just talked about. Put that ball up in my stance, lean my shoulders back a little bit, and follow through really high. So let's now flip it and start hitting some lower golf shots. So when I was hitting those shots higher, guys, you saw I was still swinging really aggressively at the ball, swinging hard, hitting down the ball, trying to lift it up, finishing really high. That's holding off my hand a little bit, my right hand, and that's creating that ball to have more spin on it, come off a little bit higher. Again, I was using a higher lofted club like a pitching wedge, but now we're gonna start hitting some lower shots. We have to hit a lower lofted club, guys. So we're gonna be hitting a 5-iron, and also what we're gonna be doing is swinging a lot softer. We don't want to swing the club too hard because the harder we swing, the more spin it's gonna generate, and the higher that ball's gonna end up going. So say we got some trees, you know, in front of us, or even a little ways in front of us. We wanna keep the ball low to fly underneath the trees. We're gonna have to take less loft. We're gonna have to swing the club a lot softer, and we're also going to be abbreviating the follow through, finishing a little bit lower. You know, it's going to create that lower penetrating ball flight. It's a really useful shot. You know, if you are only 150 yards out, but you got some trees, you're going to take a 5-iron, which, you know, you can hit further than 150 yards, but you're going to have to actually swing it softer so that way you can control it, you know, to go only 150 and also keep the ball low. So let's hit a few shots, and we'll talk about ball position and how we're approaching that. So typically, guys, with your lower lofted clubs, your higher irons, you're playing them a little bit more up in your stance, and that's because they don't have as much loft as a wedge or something like that. So you're normally playing them pretty far up in your stance. And in this case, when we're actually trying to keep them lower, we're going to move it back about a ball or two. So I'm literally using the golf ball as a unit of measurement. I'm taking golf ball, move it back maybe one ball, maybe 2 balls max. It starts to get a little uncomfortable because if you move it too far back in your stance, sometimes your alignment gets messed up, and I feel like you try and manipulate your body a little bit too much to strike the ball, which leads to inconsistent ball striking. So we're gonna move it back in my stance. I'm actually lining up a little bit open. Typically when I am swinging softer and trying to keep the ball a little bit lower, I have more of a cut swing, so my ball actually tends to cut a little bit. That's just kind of the way it is for me. So when I set up, I am setting up a little bit open. Typically when you do set up open, that opens up the face and actually adds a little bit of loft to it. So we're gonna make sure that we're doing those tips I said, like swinging a little bit softer and abbreviating fall through. So what that's gonna look like from here, I'm setting up to the ball normally, addressing it. I'm gonna move it just a couple balls back. I'm actually keeping my face pretty square to my target. Takeaway and everything is as normal. I'm probably not taking it back quite as far because I'm swinging it softer, so I might be doing an abbreviated backswing and abbreviated fall through, something like this. And you can see I'm swinging the club so softly. Let's do one into the net, and you'll see how much lower this ball comes off. Now you saw with my pitching wedge when I swung high and hard, I was able to get it pretty high up on the net. Watch what happens when I swing this 5-iron softer and abbreviating my follow through. So same rules. I'm setting up normal, square, club face, ball, back a little tiny bit. I'm going to be taking away the club just as normal. A little shorter, smoother, softer swing. I'm not going to be swinging hard because I don't want to pop that ball up. And I'm going to abbreviate follow through. You guys were able to see perfectly what that looked like. I'm actually going to put the camera on this side of me so that way you can see face on what that's kind of looking like. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so I got my pitching wedge again. I'm going to show you what it looks like to hit that ball high. So I'll put that ball down. Hopefully you guys can see everything okay. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So you're going to see I'm hitting the pitching wedge again, so I'm trying to work on the higher trajectory. You'll see what it looks like from the side while I make the swing. Ball's up in my stance. A little bit more shoulder lean. I don't like a lot of shoulder lean. Club face is totally square. A little bit more shoulder lean. I'm going to be attacking that ball and then finishing high. And just like that, guys. Now we're going to be hitting the 5-iron. Abbreviated follow through. The ball will come off a lot lower. You'll see it. So same thing, just like we said. Ball position's coming back a little bit. I'm putting the ball a little bit further back in my stance. Still square club face. I'm still swinging the club pretty much the same. I'm just soft, smoother, softer, and abbreviated. You're able to see, I actually struck that pretty well. Ball came off nice and low. Guys, that's a little bit more advanced topic than we normally cover. I normally like to do golf stuff for beginners because, to be fair, I'm just not really that good. But if you guys like this kind of stuff, make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see next. I've been appreciating the support you guys have been giving us recently and all the comments. I love seeing all the comments. I reply to every single one. So if you have anything you suggest, go ahead and leave a comment. And you guys stay tuned for the next one, guys. I love talking with you guys. If you have any video suggestions, just make sure you let us know. But thanks so much for watching.